there, so what we have here is my favorite website, or one of my favorite websites at least, called tvtropes.org. We've discussed it in class, but I want to go over it again and use it as a way into our next assignment here. I think it'll be very helpful. First, what a trope is. A trope is any sort of recurring narrative device, any way of telling a story that seems like it's done a lot, but to move things along. For example, what the page here will tell us is Romeo and Juliet is a boy meets girl story. Literally, Romeo meets Juliet, and here's their adventure together. We don't have to spend a lot of time talking in these stories about, what it's like to meet somebody, or where you have to be, or how you get to the mall to go meet somebody, or how you find yourself at a party in Verona and there's a girl there. We can get rid of all that stuff and just move on to the meat of the story because we know the boy meets the girl and they have a romance. So tropes are these repeated things that help us lay the groundwork for stories we tell. This site catalogs them. This site tries to find out what tropes are in all of these different media, whether play, books, video games, music, movies, whatever, and lays it all out for us, connects all of these things for us so we don't have to. It's also funny. Like, the site is very tongue-in-cheek. It has some literary merit to it, and it does a really good job at this cataloging thing, but in a way that's entertaining to read, and it can be a total time suck. You will look up one thing on here, and then you'll be lost in a hole for hours, bouncing between connections. Every page on TV Tropes is going to be the same. It's going to tell you the title of the work and the genre that you're in, so we know that we're in theater, Romeo and Juliet. This is the play. We have some buttons up here at the top where it says awesome, characters, film, fridge, funny. That's user-generated content. It's not necessarily related to tropes, but it's more context for the play, or it's more observations that users want to make. Also funny, also great stuff. Check it out. Every page is going to have a description of the work, and it's going to set up some of the tropes. So here it's going to outline what happens in Romeo and Juliet in terms of those tropes. So boy meets girl, love at first sight, members of feuding families. It kind of breaks it down into the simplest possible synopsis. If you keep scrolling down, you have a list of tropes. So these are all the ones that the narrative frames or stories that appear in Romeo and Juliet. Let's see if we got a good one. Here's one. The balcony wooing scene, right? It's a trope codifier. It means the trope comes from this. Even though there's not actually a balcony in Romeo and Juliet, that image has become so famous that other works now have similar scenes where lovers are meeting in the moonlight under the balcony. So we're on the Romeo and Juliet page, but we can click to the balcony wooing scene page. And the format's very similar here. We have the title, we know what trope we're in, and we have a description of the trope itself, not like a narrative work, but what the trope means. So in this case, it's a lover coming to his somebody's bedroom window or balcony in order to get attention, kind of similar to like throwing stones at a window or something like that. If you scroll down, you can open up all these folders down here and see examples of it from different pieces of media. We got films and TV, and Romeo and Juliet is down here. This is where I said you can make connections between tropes. You can see where this has been used again and again and again. So for your assignment, what you're going to do is come to the Romeo and Juliet page and read through all of these tropes, and see if any of them really kind of connect with you. If you think something's interesting or funny. And when you do, let's see if I can find a good one here. Drama queen. That's a fun one. Romeo literally throws himself on the ground sobbing at one point. Romeo is a bit of a drama queen. But what I'll do for my assignment is I want to pick one of these tropes, and then I'm going to write a short story that features that trope. So I click into drama queen, get to know it better, read all about the trope, read all about what it involves, and then I can come down here for tons of examples from them. So we'll go with live action TV. Riverdale, great example. Cheryl Blossom is absolutely shameless about being addicted to drama. She totally is, and we love her for it. Cheryl's the best. But get to know your trope. Get to be an expert in it. Write your short story, and then at the end of it, we're going to do a flip grid where you come and tell us a little bit about what your trope is, what it means, and you don't have to read your short story out to us or go into too much detail, but I want you to talk about why you chose that one and how you incorporated it in your short story.